Hello and welcome. Thank you very much for joining me on my 1,000 subscriber celebration. And as was pointed out in the chat already, even though this is my 1,000 subscriber celebration, I am 3/4 of the way to 2,000 already. So I probably won't have another one until I reach probably 5,000, probably. I also considered calling this the J&K show because we have John, the Amateur Conversationalist, Julie LaVoice, John, the Godless Engineer, Jen of Jen's Little Corner, Kitty the Atheist, and Kelly. So it's the J&K show.
We're alphabetical. It's amazing.
Yes.
JK, we're in alphabetical order. It's fantastic.
And then Nakasuchi's going to show up at some point and ruin the whole concept.
Oh, Nakasuchi.
We're going to give him an honorary J or K name for the evening.
Okay.
Instead of being the bear, he can be the kangaroo for tonight.
Oh, koala. Because people call koalas bears, even though they're not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, koala works too.
Oh, I guess they're not. Are they marsupials?
I honorarily named myself God.
Koalas are not bears; they're marsupials, so they're not bears.
That makes sense.
And I honorarily named myself Granny Rocks for the day.
I'm going to let everyone have a chance to introduce themselves in just a moment, but I need to make one quick announcement, and that is I was monetized as of 5 o'clock this morning, and I got my very first super chat ever from Ricardo Oliveira for 20 pounds. Thank you, Ricardo.
Hey, Ricardo.
And yeah, that came in before we even went live. So thank you very much for Ricardo for my very first super chat. All right, let's go ahead and go around and let everyone have a chance to introduce themselves and say hello. So Granny Rocks, you go first.
I am John Peterson, and I produce content on The Rage, Nakasuchi's channel. I do the Apostate Alliance on Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern with my co-host, Faye Rahman. And Wednesday nights on our channel, we have open room night. You can come on and bring a topic with you. And that's good. I got a weird message here.
Oh, okay. I thought possibly I was junk shopping because lately I've been junk shopping a lot.
No, that I was confused because no one's junk shopping, and I was like, brace for impact, but no.
Oh, and we lost
John. Oh,
okay, he'll be back. He'll be back. Okay, Julie, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Julie LaVoice. I do Wine and Reason on Tuesdays, and essentially, I rant about a lot of American politics, which I know a lot of folks are sick of, but I'm not sorry because also a lot of Americans are really ignorant when it comes to their own political system. And thank you, Kitty. And we all needed better civics classes when we were younger because there's stuff I'm still learning, and I'm 42 anyway. But yeah, so just atheist stuff, feminist stuff, separation of church and state stuff, and that's what I do. And I'm also the very lucky spouse of Junk Shop Library, if y'all know who that is. So that's it.
And I have my second super chat from Cadence. Thank you very much, Cadence.
And you've got a third as well.
I do. Oh, you're right. I do. I have a third one from Johan Roderick. Thank you, Johan. Okay. Since we shifted around, Jen, you're next now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think most of your people know me. I'm Jen from Jen's Little Corner. Yeah, I do all sorts of weird and wonderful content, game showy type stuff, and LGBTQ stuff, and science stuff, and whatever I feel like doing at the moment, because I don't have as much time at the moment as what I did have between trying to organize moving, and now I've got to search for another housing, so the last one put an offering on fell through, so so much fun in my life at the moment. But yeah, That's me. And yeah, I comment on all your stupid American politics stuff because politics are worldwide annoys the hell out of me, Julie. And your politics are the worst because there's very few countries whose direct politics affect everybody else in the world, and America's one of them. And you have a nut job in charge at the moment.
I agree.
Okay.
Completely.
And let's let John, Godless Engineer, go next.
Hi. Sorry. Can y'all hear me fine? Okay. So hi, I'm John Gleason, Godless Engineer. If you guys know me from my YouTube channel, I'm also on Twitter. And, I handle a lot of atheist-related content, especially where it crosses with science and politics and all that other kind of stuff. And I've started back doing more anti-science stuff that's not exactly in the realm of atheism and religion. So definitely go and check me out over there.
You're having a super chat fight.
I know. Johan Roderick is winning.
Let them do it. It's amazing. That's awesome.
Okay, Naka, we decided that for tonight you're a koala.
I am a koala.
No.
Hey, it works out then.
Yeah.
I'm a little bear, so
Right.
we'll call it a koala. So.
Do you know how you got that name? Did you hear that?
Huh?
Do you know how you got that name? Did you hear that?
I heard a bit of it, but not all of it. I was trying to come in and I was arguing with Trumpers. So
Same thing.
I love you so much, Nagatsuchi.
It came about because I was also considering calling this the J and K show because we have Julie, Jen, John, Kitty, and Kelly. So you had
and
to have
I spoiled.
so for the night, you're koala.
Yeah, I can be koala, or you can just call me Kenny.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Oh my God, we killed Kenny.
You bet.
You got it. Like y'all immediately went there. You got it.
How could we not? It was sad, but yeah.
But hey, I'm the Rage, aka the Raging Atheist, aka Nakasuchi, aka that libtard snowflake, whatever. What's up, y'all? Congratulations, Godless Granny. Wow, amazing.
Thank you. Kitty.
Hi. Yeah, I make sure I'm not muted. No, my headset broke, so I'm using a backup. But Kitty the Atheist, I am mostly a lurker commenter. I've been on with John before, and with Naka, and with the other John. I mostly am, just part of the community, but like people seem to like having me around, so I am grateful for that. Lately, I've been doing a lot of sewing, making masks. This is one of my new favorites.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. It's a
I
Jack
actually
and
went and I got Jack and Sally nails as well.
Okay, I need to know later. I need to know how to get that from you. I'll whatever you're. I will.
Yeah, I
pay
was
you
going to
for
say
that.
the same thing, but the freight to Australia is ridiculous, so no.
Me
Yeah,
too.
no,
I know
mailing out of the country is ridiculous.
I wouldn't even ask you to do it. But when I've shifted, I'm going to ask you for the plans for making them, even though I don't need them in Australia, but I want one of them. I'm going to buy the material and do it myself.
It's really not hard. Like, in fact, I could put on a Skype call with you and I could walk you through it. I have made over 300 masks. So at this point, I could probably do it in my sleep.
That is
John's
that's a nice one, John.
I made him. I made him that is
cool.
Josephus. Like, if anybody wants John's content, like, I was talking to Casey and I was like, okay, they picked out the ones, for them. And then I was like, but I need a Josephus mask. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Joanne's and I'm just going to see what fabric jumps out at me that's the one. And that was the fabric that won for Josephus. But,
Awesome.
They're really good masks. I'd suggest anybody that wants one to get one because I like this one. I've also got the GE one, and I know KC's got like a couple, I think. So we like switching them in and out and everything.
And John's got them. One of some of my masks too. I had some horse fabric that I used to make his.
Yeah, horses. Because I'm a horse
I'm
face.
so glad you guys like it. Like, I put a lot of work into them. I mean, a lot. Because not only is it 2 layers of fabric, but I also have fusible interfacing as well so that it's sturdier and it holds up to washing better. And it's also more protective than just, something like this that would just be, just basic fabric. So, obviously, it's more to protect others, but I would think that a non-woven, like fusible interfacing, multiple layers of fabric, you're more likely to be safe, yourself, and even better for keeping others safe and keeping all your germs about your person instead of out
I'm
there.
sold. I am absolutely sold. I mean,
masks.
I have to keep
do
the
we-
library stocked with wine. That's my job. So I have to go out at least once a week. And yeah.
No, just hit me up in a DM.
Real quick for Jen. So she mentioned something about.
Whoa.
We lost John again.
Oh,
I was going to ask a question to the panel. Was
Okay, just a
do
minute.
we
I need to
think that? Sorry,
I need to
go on,
acknowledge
go
the
ahead.
rest of these super chats because
Go
Johan
for it.
Roderick sent like 3 or 4 of them, and there's one from Uni the Apostate, and I've been showing them, but I haven't acknowledged them verbally, and I think I need to do that. And then there was one from Fran, and then another one from Johan, another one from Johan, and I think that catches me up. Okay, very good. Go ahead, Jen.
Beautiful. I was going to say, do you think? I know there's a lot of people who hate masks and won't wear them and are absolute dicks about it. And not a lot of people where I'm from wear them, but then again, we haven't had a case of COVID in my state that originated in my state for 3 months now. So
that's nice.
we've pretty much got it in control in WA, but we have hard border closures. Nobody gets in and out of here without going into quarantine, basically. So the only people who.
No,
Sorry.
I was saying, did I pop out before my whole question got out? Like,
Yeah.
You did.
yeah, I don't know what's going on. I never have this problem, but I popped out like 3-4 times now already. If it happens again, I think I'll just save you having to bring me back in again. But it was interesting to me that Jen said that it's not a problem down there because our guy here never really did anything right.
Yeah, federally we've had issues because the federal government wanted to start opening things up, and then of course we had the second wave hit in a couple of states, and our numbers went up. But I mean, to be fair, we locked straight back down again, and although it's been bad, it's nowhere for us. It's been nowhere near as bad as it has been in other countries. So Australia's still doing really well overall. But any deaths is bad. But in my own state, it's been about 3 months since we've had any within the state thing. So that's why the hospital didn't go absolutely nuts when I showed up there with a coughing fit, because they knew it wasn't COVID because no one's had COVID. And especially when the person I caught this from had already had a test anyway, it's like, yeah, no, you're safe. But
I mean, we've been having 50,000 new cases a day again here.
Yeah, over
so we're not having
214,000
that.
dead at last count that I heard.
But do you think that perhaps even after we get through this, like even if there's a vaccine, the advent of people wearing more masks in public might actually stay with us afterwards because of what's happened here, and it becomes a bit more like Japan, where wearing a mask has become the norm, not just for pollution, but to protect yourself from catching anything.
I think so, and I also kind of hope. And this is strange for me to say because I am one of over 3 million Americans who lost their job because of the pandemic. And I'm looking for work. I'm very much used to the old way of you go to a job interview, you meet the person in person, you give them eye contact and a smile, you do the firm handshake, but not too firm, all of that. And I'm really hoping that handshaking kind of goes out of the equation. It's weird to say it because I'm used to it as a cultural thing, but it's not Kelly. I'm sorry. Kitty was nodding. Kelly, hi.
Well,
I know you two. You're different people. Anyway, no, the point is that, I'm hoping that kind of goes away too.
Well, and the thing is too, I'm going to wholeheartedly agree with you because I've said for years that shaking hands is like one of the most filthy human habits, and the reason I say that is the reason I say that is because I know what I do with my hands, and I don't want to shake my hands. Like,
You're supposed to
Wash your hands, John.
I know something that's worse. Think in Catholic Church, the people that dip their Eucharist into the wine.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Or I mean, I was a Eucharistic minister at my church, and so I would always pick wine left because you have more left in your goblet. It was the shortest line, and you can't pour the blood of Christ down the drain. You have to finish it. So that was fun. But I would but the people drinking from a communal cup. Like I never even thought about that growing up. That is disgusting. There is not, they water that wine down. There's not enough alcohol to kill germs in that wine.
Especially when sorry, John, you go.
Well, I was just going to say, there's a lot of people that think that you're protected by Jesus Christ. So the Eucharist cup or the wine cup actually can't spread disease.
Wasn't there in the Vatican of that during the pandemic? That no, it's fine, we're protected.
There were some. I mean, some said that you can't spread disease from this particular chalice because it's protected by the holy balls of Jesus.
Same thing with like dipping your hands in the holy water to, when
spectacles.
Are you suggesting there, John, that the cup of the Eucharist has been tainted?
Yeah, and like you gotta wonder. I know I'm not the first person to make the comment or the joke.
I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah, you get covered in the blood. That's right, Ricardo. Never mind. I'm not gonna go with the what part of Jesus are you eating at communion. I'm just gonna.
I wonder how much of Jesus you'd eat over your entire life if you've.
I made my first communion when I was 8 years old, and I left the church when I was 18, and my parents could no longer make me go legally. So in 10 years, it has to be a bit. I've at least eaten a leg, right? Or an arm.
Probably a hand. I mean, it's only a wafer, isn't it? So
it's a wafer.
And yet, the quickest way to get them to all look at you funny is to question aloud, and wonder aloud what people taste like. It's like, what? Like it freaks them out. But when you actually start to think about what they're doing, it is essentially ritualistic cannibalism.
Transubstantiation. It is. And it's so bizarre.
Because they actually say it actually is the body of Christ. It gets converted. I mean, a lot of Christian churches don't say that. They just say it's representative of. So in that case, you're not really eating the body and blood of Christ. But in the Catholic Church, you are literally meant to be eating the body and blood of Christ. It's church-sanctioned cannibalism.
Yep, and that's what makes us different and special. That's what they tell us. And no one
it's not even cooked.
Also, the Lone Wanderer is hilarious.
The Lone Wanderer has an excellent thought for the day. Almost every hand you shake today will have had a dick in it at some point. Have a great day.
Fair. I mean, fair.
Well, I was in a debate recently, and the Christian got triggered because I told him his religion was a religion based off human sacrifice, and he got triggered. And I'm like, it's literally based off of the premise that a human sacrifice is an ethical solution to a problem. And he was like, well, yeah, you're right. I'm like, well, point made.
And a problem that only exists because your God is incapable of forgiveness.
Exactly.
Yeah, the God is omniscient. He's not it's interesting though, because if you read the Bible like from front to back, Yahweh is not omniscient in the beginning.
Oh no, right? He's not. He definitely he isn't even in the end.
No,
he's like, what have you been up to? I don't know. You have to tell me.
I check in. What? I'm like your mom. I'm calling in to see how you are. And it's fair.
I peek through the window.
Yeah, real quick. Can I interject? I guess I'm going to have to bid you all adieu. I don't know what's up with my internet, but I keep popping out, and I even update. And I just wanted to say that congratulations, Granny. I love your content. Next stop 5,000, and I wanted to say to Julie that it's kind of, you talked about having your first communion at eight years old. That's kind of coincidental because at 8 years old I got my first priest at Copperfield. So
oh God, I'm so sorry.
I'm totally kidding.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
so anyway, thank you so much, Granny, and goodbye to all of you.
Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, sorry. I
completely
did not hear the joke there because that stuff is so common, and I know so many people that's happened to, that my first reaction was, oh my gosh, John has had trauma. I am so sorry. You were abused. I'm sorry. I didn't do it. But I feel the need to apologize on behalf of this bizarre culture.
The Catholic guilt never goes away.
It never
goes away.
You, Kitty. That shit is hardwired up in here.
It might be genetic at this point. It's just genetic memory because Catholicism's passed on down the line. I think Catholics and Jews, like, they have that inbred like guilt that they just they feel bad for everything.
Absolutely. Oh my God. My friend John.
It's how you control people is through guilt.
Yeah.
If you can encourage them that you need to feel guilty for this, and the only way you can alleviate your guilt is you come and tell us all your bad shit. I mean, it's the same thing that the Scientology does. Come and tell us your bad shit so we can write it all down so we can use it against you later, which is what the church used to do with confession. I'm the priest and I know what you've done, so you better show up in church and give us your money.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I know it's not that bad now, because the Catholic Church is kind of moved on.
It's still an international child R-word cabal, though. So I'm not just saying, like.
I mean, the sooner the Catholic Church disappears from society, the better. Going back to what we were talking about before about Christians, although I think that was before the stream, about certain Christians not accepting that Catholics are Christian. Fine, except that we'll say that Catholics aren't Christian, and now you have to accept that Christianity isn't the most popular religion in the world.
Exactly.
Because the Muslims kick your ass.
Yeah, and Catholics breed like bunnies. So if you're not,
every sperm is sacred.
Every sperm is sacred. That's right.
Oh, I love that song. Every sperm is good.
I do have a Christian coming on soon. I'm not quite sure when yet, but he's going to give me the biblical terms of what a Christian really is and explain to me how it's not a no true Scotsman's fallacy when a Christian that's a biblical Christian says that another Christian isn't a Christian, such as a Catholic. Looking forward to that, because that's literally what the no true Scotsman fallacy is.
Yeah, that's an impossible argument to win.
You could mention the history at least. Like, I'm sorry, I don't like it, but the Catholics were there first.
Yeah, I mean, it is the original Christianity, like the Protestants, and the Anglican Church, like, they broke off from Catholicism. Like, it is the most...
No, not necessarily the original, because you still have the Orthodox Greek and stuff like that, which are just as old. So
the first was the Orthodox.
It was the Orthodox and the Roman Church.
Let's get something straight here, okay? Christianity didn't exist until the current denominations came into existence, okay? I mean, we did not get the correct word of God until 1982, okay?
Right. And that's honestly, like, my I have a someone in my life. I almost said who it was, and I'm not going to. Someone in my life who I love very much, who converted from Catholicism to being an independent Baptist. And that person absolutely asserts that her religion has been around since the time of Christ. And I'm like, well, no, just like historically, no.
You can't even say that, because Jesus, I mean, biblically speaking, the early Christians didn't want to separate from the Jewish faith. They were still Jews who just met and celebrated Jesus as well.
Yeah, and then Paul came along and fucked up everything. So
all the churches that I went to, made the claim that they'd been around since the beginning, because they were going back to the way what the early Christians really believed. And they always said, well, this is what the early Christians actually believed. And so, the Catholics strayed from that, and we're going back to it.
Right. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Actually, thank you, Kelly, for that explanation, because that makes her very adamant statement make more sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because this person is not, there's nothing, stupid about this, but she's very smart, and it just confused me. Okay, sorry, G, you wanted to.
Yeah, so I mean, unless your particular version of Christianity wants to actively own other people as well as suppress the rights of women, then I would say that you're pretty far off from the original sect of Christians. Not only that, but I have substantial reasons to believe that the original Christianity is not anything like what we have now. So I mean, no matter what how closely they think that they could adhere to the original Christianity, they're not even close.
Yeah, what GE is saying is so true. The original Christians literally went house to house and they followed the Torah, and the Christians today they follow a completely different dogma, one of circumcision, one of pretty much Paul is their Messiah. They just claim it's Jesus.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, Paul was their Messiah. Paul didn't even really believe in a real extent Jesus either.
Well,
I mean, Paul's experience.
Jesus.
Yeah, he never met Jesus, and he was talking of a being like God that was, an angelic type being that was not a existent in the flesh type Jesus anyway.
And Paul hated women, and Paul is the reason.
Paul was a misogynist.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he is the main reason that in Western Christendom, women were and have been secondhand citizens or second.
Not only that, there's strong evidence to suggest Paul was homosexual as well. So,
well, to be specific, Paul did believe in a flesh and blood Jesus. It was just, at least in my view, it was very much a manufactured sort of body, because Paul talks about Jesus in the flesh the same way he talks about Adam's body as well as our future resurrection bodies, which are bodies that are flesh and blood, but they're manufactured by God. And so
yeah, like a body that can just present to you like a heavenly host, not one that was born and raised up. And because Paul doesn't talk about the birth of Jesus or anything like that. That's all gospel stuff. That was all separate to what Paul believed.
Well, so specifically about Jesus's birth, he doesn't talk about. There's one verse, Galatians 4:4, where he talks about Jesus being born of a woman, but he's very ambiguous about it. Plus, that entire section is contained in an allegory, and the word that he uses there is a word that he uses for divine manufacture rather than actual giving of birth. In that same allegory, Paul goes on to use a completely different word that's more explicit about human birth when he refers to other people being born, but he never uses that word when referencing Jesus being born. So I don't know. To me personally, I feel like it's most likely that God, in whatever way, manufactured the body for Jesus. And so he had more of a celestial flesh and blood.
He was a celestial body, yeah.
And then Kitty and I are like, yeah, but God knew that Mary would bear Christ before she was born, which is why her conception was immaculate and she was born without original sin, so that she could be the only vessel that could carry Jesus.
Well, that's how the story goes.
Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, it absolutely is Deus Ex Machina. That's perfect.
Yeah, well, I mean, so that's how the story goes, but that actually didn't come into existence until like the later Gospels. So, I mean, I was specifically talking about what Paul thought. But I mean, even in the Gospels, it has the Holy Spirit making Jesus like in the womb of Mary, in some kind of way without any kind of impregnation from Joseph. So, I mean,
or consent from Mary.
Or consent from Mary. Thank you, Rage. Yeah, absolutely. And you're absolutely right. It's the Holy Spirit that made the.
Well,
what does that even mean?
To G's original point about slavery, and that's what the new covenant is. Like, if you read through the Gospels, you read the words of Christ himself. He often talks about that slave and master relationship as being Christianity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a thought. If Jesus' DNA came solely from Mary, he would have female DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So is Jesus a woman who identifies as a man?
Well, Jen will know what I'm talking about here, but reproducing without the opposite gender is commonly known as parthenogenesis.
Parthenogenesis,
animals that don't need males include a lot of lizards and various snails.
And you only get females, but you can get intersex out of that.
Well,
which means you could have you could have a female born that actually has a phallus, so would appear to be male, but actually has female DNA and would not be able to reproduce.
Right.
So, have a microphallus. So Jesus had a microphallus.
I'm sorry, Ricardo's comment made me laugh, but that's also
so actually, there's a quote unquote prophecy in 2 Samuel or 2 Samuel where it actually where God explicitly says that He will take the seed from David's belly or bowels and then construct the Messiah's future body. And so the at least the idea that I think is most parsimonious, that explains a lot of things, is that the Holy Spirit actually used the seed of David and impregnated Mary with the seed of David.
Okay, so God put David's sperm on ice in a celestial version of
in vitro.
In vitro fertilization. Got a huge, great big syringe and said, "Now I'm going to move over you now, Mary."
Well,
okay. Right, I got one for you. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, considering it's God and He does magic, I mean, He doesn't really have to explain shit. He could just basically conjure up a big old thing of sperm, like maybe one of those turkey basters, a bowl of sperm.
I have to say, GE just provided one of the best apologetics for an argument that I use constantly. So I have stumped quite a few Christians with the fact that the genealogy in the Gospels point to Joseph as being of the line of David, not Mary, right? So if the Immaculate Conception was real, the genealogy says Joseph is your secure line of David. Jesus can't be the Messiah. GE just gave me the apologetic for that. God did it with David's sperm.
Wow. and also,
which means that Jesus is not the Son of God genetically. He is David's son with Mary, which means he's only the anointed Son of God, which is actually what it says in the Gospel. So anyone could have been the Messiah because you're the anointed Son of God.
Well, so yes. So if anybody has read the Old Testament actually has all of the kings of Israel being sons of God or being adopted into the family of God. But more importantly, the original Gospel, Mark, actually has a very Docetist kind of view of this. And that's why Mark doesn't go into the birth of Jesus. If you guys remember, there's the Epiphany, and that's at the very beginning of Mark when Jesus is like dunked into the river Jordan. Yeah, and he describes the experience as like the dove descending from heaven, the clouds opening up, the dove or the Holy Spirit descending, and there's in the peer-reviewed scholarship, this is actually viewed as the Messiah figure that's already pre-existent in Judaism, because in case you guys didn't know, the original Christians and even Christians now see Jesus as being a pre-existent being. So this archangel figure actually sort of inhabited the body or haunted the body of this person named Jesus.
And how we have possession.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
let's back it up just a little bit. Let's back it up just a little bit to one of my favorite stories that's not actually in the Bible, but it's the story of Lilith.
Can I put you on hold for just a moment? And that is, I want to acknowledge the super chat from Junk Shop Library. Thank you very much for your super chat, Junk Shop.
Hi, honey.
Okay, go ahead, Kitty.
Yeah.
Okay, so the story of Lilith, Adam's first wife, made of the same dust of the earth as Adam. Wanted to be
Adam's equal.
Wanted to be Adam's equal. That wasn't going to fly in a patriarchal society. So she was cast out, mother of monsters. Lullabies, actually, she was thought to steal babies from cribs. So you would sing a lullaby to keep Lilith away and keep them from stealing your baby.
Yeah.
But
the first succubi.
Yeah, and it's also oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. But the issue is, though, when God then made Eve from Adam's rib, it would have been Adam and Steve, not Adam and Eve. There is no
fantastic
fucking Hadoukening sperm in that one, because there's like what like GE was saying, but for that one, literally,
if you made
Eve from Adam's rib, it would have been Steve, not Eve.
I have been
And they would have
making
been
that
the same
argument for a
genetically,
while.
so because it would have been a clone. So you're looking at you're looking at the original pairing being two clones, which is basically incest.
Yeah, I'm
Would
too
it be
southern to
beginning.
deal with that.
masturbation? Like,
And Genesis
mutual
somehow
masturbation.
manages. Yeah, Genesis somehow manages to get weirder and weirder and weirder.
It's just when you read this stuff and you try and take it seriously, there's this weird adage about Lilith and the needle. And I don't know the original story, but it's like because I wasn't but it's in Judaism. There's the story about Lilith being the rebellious first wife. It's an apocryphal story, and a needle. And so for years on into like I only know this because of the literature I had to study in school. There's buying needles was bad luck. So people with sewing needles. So people would just like the tailor or whoever you went to buy your cloth from would just throw the needle in and not even mention it because you don't.
Oh wow!
Just stuff like that. It's like, and that's how much these stories influence everyone and our culture, and it's a little creepy, honestly.
you would be surprised how many superstitions there are out there. Actually, R.L. Stein, he wrote the Goosebumps books for kids. It was something I loved growing up. Like I had the Scholastic subscription, so I kept getting them. He actually wrote an adult book. And when I say adult book, I mean adult book. Like there's sex acts in it and everything. It's not meant for kids. But it was called Superstitious. And it was actually really good. Without spoiling it, there's basically a guy that, he has to follow all the... If anyone breaks a superstition around him, really bad things happen. And so you learn all these different things, like handing soap from one person to another. You can't do it. It's a superstition. And there was a bunch in the book that I actually went and looked up later. And then there was a poem about how different sneezes mean different things. Like if you sneeze once in a row or twice in a row. And so it actually got me dabbling into the world of superstitions after I read the book. If you haven't, you should check it out.
So what about the kind of sneezes where you sneeze so hard your back cracks? What is that?
That's the devil.
Painful?
I like one. There's a old Cajun superstition that if somebody's sick or in the hospital, you slip a knife under the mattress and it's supposed to cut the pain in half. Which it doesn't, but I've always liked the idea.
To this day, my mother will lose her shit if you put shoes on a table, like new shoes or old shoes. Like, even though I had to explain to her, Mom, the superstition is only new shoes. But she got that from her mother. If you put new shoes on a table, it's bad luck. Oh. So, like, my mom to this day, like, freaks out about that. She's still pretty religious and superstitious.
Oh, sure.
Like, salt over the shoulder type.
My mother, you don't mention... Oh gosh, death, cancer, anything, anything that you might whisper. She without her, full on,
Never smile when a hearse drives by, or you'll be the next to die.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly.
I despise people telling me "bless you" when I sneeze. I'm like, no, keep your silliness over there.
That one, I respect that. I respect that knock, but honestly, for me, that's just ingrained politeness, like saying please.
Yeah, I don't talk smack, but I just don't like it. I'm like, keep it over there. I'm not thrilled when I say it, but it's like it's a Pavlovian response at this point. I never say it anymore. I have trained myself not to say that nonsense.
I get mad, like if somebody says it, like my family knows my views on religion. So as a compromise, I said, if you're going to say it, can you just say bless you instead of God bless you? And they were okay with that. It's a compromise, you have to compromise these things, but I don't say it, I don't get upset if someone says Same thing like if someone says Merry Christmas, I don't care. I will say happy holidays, but
I think way too literally. I'm like there's no demons coming out of my nose. What are you talking about?
Yeah, my soul is not in danger of escaping my body in this moment. It's all right. Anybody
No,
ever?
you don't have
Anybody
one.
ever hold your breath while passing
the
a cemetery
I
in a
was
car?
just about
My
to bring that up,
cousins
by the way.
used to say that.
We are wavelength right
we're
now.
so,
Oh my
I know,
goodness.
right? Yeah,
I-
there's
You know,
I
you know
was
the whole
never-
crossing is sorry. It's okay.
I was never superstitious, and that's one of the things that kind of led
Yeah,
to
me
my
neither.
atheism for a bit. Is there was an episode, I think it was Star Trek, where they were telling this alien about religion and a superstition, and the alien considered superstition and religion to be the same thing. And so when one person told them about their religion, they said, "Oh, well, what's your superstition?" to another person. And I found that really offensive as a Christian. You know, it's not a superstition, it's a religion.
I even
But
found
after you get out of it, I realized there really isn't any
It's a
difference.
superstition.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I had a guy I worked with before I stopped being Wiccan completely, because I was New Age for way too long. I've been an atheist for 2 years, essentially. Shortly after my 40th birthday, I sat down and thought about stuff, and I was like, oh wow, that's all bullshit. Okay. Yeah, what were you gonna say, Nock?
Well, I was just gonna say you wouldn't have liked my video today because I was talking shit about the New Age spiritualist.
No, it's fine. No, I'm
fine.
angry.
It's
No,
all
I'm
superstition.
angry now. I'm angry now because it's like, yeah, it's all superstition, and I wasted so much. Do you know how much I can tell you about the stupid superstitions about particular rocks? There is so much other information I have in my brain.
I'm a former Native American spiritualist. We literally believe certain types of crystals could show you your past life.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yes,
Oh,
and
wow.
I do have a dream catcher I made in my bedroom, but it was a present I gave to my spouse on our third date because they told me they had really bad nightmares, and so I made them a dream catcher. But they woke up long before I did. Like, you know, junk shop.
I still do
from way back.
I still do sage smudges, but I don't believe in them. I just like the smell.
It smells
Yeah, I
awesome.
love the smell of burning sage.
Me
It's
too.
so good.
All right, I'm going to go back to something you were talking about earlier, Julie, which was crossing yourself. And I've got no idea how you do it because I wasn't brought up Catholic.
Here.
It's
Spectacles,
Testicles,
testicles,
wallet, and watch.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And you're seeing it reverse. So
it's
that's messed
the
up.
left and right that I don't get, but
It's,
that's fine.
It's left shoulder to right shoulder.
Oh yeah, left to right.
Yeah.
I
like you'd read.
because I wasn't brought up Catholic, I was brought up a Methodist, and we don't do that. And you also don't do the whole thing of walking down and doing the little bow or little bow at the
genuflecting. Jen.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Where you cross yourself and you. I didn't know about that. My elder sister.
You do it as you genuflect. It's kind of amazing.
Yes, my elder sister married a Catholic, and of course, prior to all the weddings, we all went to the wedding, which was in the Catholic church, obviously. We all went to the Catholic church, and I didn't know this tradition. And I was walking behind my future brother-in-law. He bent over to do this, and I tripped the fuck over him.
Oh no! Okay, that's on him. He should have warned you. He should have told you what genuflecting was.
No, he just stopped and did it, and I went, "Ah!"
Yeah, you stop and do it at the. You do it. You genuflect toward the altar, which is basically getting down almost all the way to the ground on one knee. But most of us learn pretty young. I think Kitty might back me up on this, to not go all the way down to the carpet so you can get up more easily, and then you sit. It's what you do.
Save that for the youngins.
Yeah.
The youngins can go all the way down.
Okay, that sounds wrong, but all right. Yes, we can. I'm sorry,
That
Kitty.
gives me an idea for a Halloween video.
Oh my.
I love that double entendre, Kitty. The younger ones can go all the way down in the Catholic church.
I mean, it wasn't intentional, but
I love your use.
I'll take the point.
I love your use of the term double entendre there. So, I ever since Eminem's Las Vegas shooter video, that's been my favorite word. So,
Oh my, yeah, no one can follow that. We're all stumped now.
Like,
Yay,
honestly,
Godless Granny has over 1,000 subs.
yes.
well, you can't follow. All right, so Eminem made a video about the Las Vegas shooter, and the entire video is a double entendre.
Oh my gosh, wait. He made a
Well,
really?
Yeah.
I have to see it. I
Oh,
haven't seen
it is
I don't want to judge.
brilliant. It is brilliant.
Okay.
Hey,
I
real
don't
quick-
want to judge without having seen it.
Well, yeah.
I have two very dear friends who live in Vegas,
It-
and they actually have PTSD from that incident. So
Oh yeah, no, yeah, they don't want to watch that video.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Hey,
Good
real
to know.
quick before I disappear again. Real quick before I disappear again. I keep trying some different stuff on my computer. I just logged into a different server. I'm hoping I fixed it. Maybe
You
not.
got boomer internet, John.
No, I got some pretty good internet. It's just I don't know. I even went over to our channel, and did a private stream for a few minutes to see, and it worked over there. So I don't know what's going on.
Wow.
John,
I'm
do you have
sorry, John.
Spectrum?
Do I have Spectrum? No, I have Armstrong in my
Okay.
area.
Well, I know Spectrum has been having some issues lately. I have Spectrum, and it's been a bit dodgy.
And
so-
I think there's been internet issues all over the country, honestly.
Yeah, the internet's probably got COVID.
Well,
No, it's the infrastructure. Like, not everybody's online right now for school, work, pleasure. When it comes down to it, they didn't upgrade. Like, they're slowly upgrading things, but they didn't do the mass rollout of upgrades to things in different areas, especially less urban areas, like outside of like major cities. So now that there's so much more load on the system, it just can't handle it.
I think you hit on my problem. I think I broke my computer going online too much for pleasure.
Okay, yeah. You're supposed to clean the
wanted to say
keyboard,
something.
John.
GE
Well,
wanted to
so-
say something.
Damn
Well, yeah,
atheist and their porn. Or go ahead, G. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, if you're curious about the Eminem video, that's a double entendre. It's called Darkness.
Oh.
is
Yes,
the video.
it's so good. It's so good.
okay.
What, that's
So
new?
it's not making light of or making fun of.
No,
I
I think
wouldn't have thought.
I think he does a pretty good job of getting into the guy's mind.
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
Yeah, he definitely does not. It's ultimately a commentary on like violence in America and how prevalent it is and everything like that. And it's very much a negative song towards the current status of guns in America.
Oh, good. All right. I'm all for that.
Well, and
Eminem-
Eminem is a solid lefty, yo. I mean, just to
Yeah.
put it out there, he's been a solid lefty. I mean, he came out with Mosh and tried to turn that re-election of George Bush, and I'm like, I've been a fan. I've been a solid, devoted fan ever since.
Like, it reminds me a little bit of Dolores O'Riordan from the Cranberries.
Yes.
from
Oh, I
her song
love her.
"Zombies" about the
Zombie,
IRA
yeah.
bombing. So it's something comparable to that.
Yeah. That's
Well,
awesome.
Literally, the whole song is a double entendre. Like you have to. the first two verses double entendre, and then he breaks. He goes past the veil in the third verse.
Well, I will absolutely check that out because the video he made about the need to vote, it was encouraging people to vote for Obama, although I don't think he during Obama's first election. Although anyway, the video itself made me cry. Like it hit me in this weird patriotic place I didn't know I had. And so
well, yeah, and that's the overall message of this video is gun regulation and the problem of guns in this country. And he nails it. Like, yeah, if you have not seen that video, you have to go watch that video now.
I'll check it. I will check it out after the stream. But I also had this freaky realization that not too long ago that most of my favorite rappers are white, and then I felt weird, and I was like,
Yeah,
no,
I had
that's
that same realization. I'm a Jelly Roll dude. I love my struggle. Eminem,
I love Front a lot. I love him because he does nerdcore rap and it's hilarious. He's like rapping about playing 8-bit, Nintendo games and shit. It's awesome.
Oh,
Anyway,
no, that
sorry,
sounds
sorry,
great.
Granny. I'm gonna stop there.
Real quick, while we're on rap, I'm just saying, Lil Hobson or Hobson's "Ill Mind of Seven" is like the atheist national anthem. If you haven't heard it and you're an atheist, you gotta check out that song.
Say it one more time.
It's "Ill Mind of Seven" Hobson. It is his conflictions with religion, and I think he paints it perfectly.
Got it. Thank you. I'll check it out.
So, has anybody started decorating for Halloween yet? Granny had said she's going to do a Halloween video.
And then I found out that my apartment complex got bought, and we had to move into a different unit in the same complex so they can renovate this asbestos and lead paint and poor electrical wiring unit that we've been living in for 6 years, that was built in 1947. So yeah, no.
I think you're not moving too
take
far.
them all down. Yes, that is the yes. Thank you, Jen. That is the one silver lining. And
It's a new unit better than the one you're in.
No, it's exactly the same. It's the old. But we're also going to pay the same rent, and they're giving us a year-long lease, which is good because once they finish refurbishing everything, the new rent is going to be literally twice as much.
Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah, and we cannot afford that, so we will. Yep.
So you're going to be spending 12 months looking for a new place?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, buy, or
we
are you
can
going
rent. No, I don't have a job right now, man. I got laid off.
Yeah, but
no, we're not in a position to buy anything. But hopefully I'll have a new job soon. But we're going to. We could rent a house in our neighborhood for less than what they're going to be. What somebody.
That's ridiculous. Well, that give you more room though.
Yes, it would be lovely. And Junk Shop could have a proper garden, which they've always wanted, and that would be nice. Yeah. Cool. Anyway, this is not about me. This is about Kelly and everybody.
Yeah.
Cadence, you sound like you are someone that Robin would absolutely adore, because Robin loves skulls and has a coffin lamp and.
Nice.
Yeah. That's why when you
How
showed
is he
that
doing?
mask, Kitty, I said I need one for Robin. Robin is doing very well. He's had a couple of issues with online classes, particularly some of the classes are hybrids where Robin attends online, but some people are attending in person. So the professor is wearing a mask. And Robin says sometimes it's kind of hard to understand the professors when they're wearing masks when they speak.
I don't like the hybrid classes. I really wish they'd just have everybody online if they could.
Yeah, Robin is doing everything online. Robin has not set foot on campus all year.
Well, Robin is very smart, like his mom.
My daughter's school has been all online, but they just came to the determination next semester they're going back to school, and I am not happy.
I'm so sorry.
No, I don't blame you guys.
I don't blame you either. I've got one of my dear friends from my old company. We both got laid off together. We were in the same department, and he's got 2 small boys, and he's homeschooling and doing all of that. Yeah. Raise your hands, parents. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a parent, but yeah, you guys. And he loves it because he's getting to spend all this time with his boys, but at the same time, he is so stressed out, looking for work. So anyway, Nervardia, you got a super chat, Nervardia. Hey,
what's up, Nervardia?
Hey, Nervardia, how's it going, Mero?
Hey, girl.
Thank you for the super chat, Nervardia.
I'm the running gag for the episode.
Yeah.
You're like, is John here? Nope, disappeared. John,
change your name to Joke.
You're like a ghost, man. You pop up,
there we go.
Away, and then you pop up.
Somebody in the chat said reset your
router.
Yeah,
your router. I unplugged it and plugged it back in, and we'll see if that does it.
It's the fedora.
You're basically having sex with us, John. You're in and out and in and out and in and out all the time.
I'm not going to say I hadn't thought it, but I wasn't going to say it. Goodness. I'm trying to watch my language because it's Granny's stream. I think I've only cursed like 4 times. Might be a record.
Yeah. Hey, I definitely have a bit of a potty mouth. And I love Halloween because usually I don't go quite so dramatic with the makeup. but
love your
it's
makeup.
October,
I
so
love makeup.
It
like there's
works
that
on
fine
you.
line between like dramatic vampire and drag queen. And
Mhm.
so, I'm trying to straddle that line a little bit and not tip too far over.
Get it, girl. I mean, I honestly, I told Granny when I came in, I was like, I'm sorry. I was going to put on makeup and look nice for your stream, but we're packing everything and I don't know where my makeup is. I have no idea where it is right now. So
I've got enough on for both of us, so we're good.
Thank you.
We're good.
Thank you. You're rocking
Yeah.
the black lipstick and the eyeshadow and the liner beautifully. Thank you.
You've got our backs.
I haven't
I
used
will
my
wear enough
camera.
makeup for everybody. That's
Yeah,
how good a friend I am.
I haven't used my camera in a week because I have COVID, and I was telling people earlier, I'm paler than Nicole Kidman on crack. So
Oh,
How are you doing with it, Knock?
yeah. Because
well, I'm good. I'm getting better day by day, and I'm like at day 9, so I'm over the danger period. So,
Yeah, you're not coughing as much as I am, so that's not.
yeah. My lungs hurt, but other than that, that's about all.
Well, that's good.
I'm so glad you're doing well, man. We were all worried.
I was worried.
I mean, at one point, Junk Shop looked at me. I mean, we were just hanging out, talking like we weren't online or anything. And they looked at me and they were like, he's so worried about his daughter. And I was like, I know, it's a little girl. She needs her daddy. And we just had like this moment of like,
that's been the biggest fear, and so far, she said she had a bit of a sore throat, but I think she was just like, being daddy and because it never got worse. So we've got to make it through 14 days. We make it through 14 days now. We're in the clear and back to normal.
all right on. And I'm so glad to hear your voice and hear you're doing okay. That's nice.
And my second daughter is pregnant and is due first week in November, and this is her
Oh,
first.
congratulations.
Oh,
Yep.
congratulations. And also terrifying.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, to see the baby, she doesn't want us to fly up there, or if we do, we've got to quarantine for 2 weeks before we can see the baby. So we've got to drive, and it's a 3-day drive.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So we've got
a 3-day drive through quarantine areas as well.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's your grandchild. You do what you feel is necessary. But.
Right. We considered getting a camper, renting a camper and going up with the camper, but so many people are doing that the cost of renting a camper has absolutely rocketed.
Oh, people are price gouging?
Oh, yeah. My husband said it's going to be like $2,000 for us to rent a camper.
Dang nabbit. I shouldn't be surprised by that, but I am.
I mean, talking of price gouging, we have a quote for shifting all the furniture out of this place to Albany when we eventually get our new house offering and accepted. And because having to do the new house has put it back like about 9 weeks at least, depending on if we can find a place that we're going to be looking at shifting close to Christmas, and they will add a premium cost to shifting of about $1,500 to $2,000.
Oh gosh.
I'm so sorry.
So we're actually considering getting the house and then waiting until mid-January to fully move. To fully move everything, because it's just stupid amount of money. It really is.
One of the things that we're going to do on that drive, though, is we won't leave until Robin finishes class for the semester. And then we've got 3 drivers.
Oh, that's good.
And yeah.
Take it in shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I've actually got to head out because I got to call my son. But it was great seeing everybody tonight and talking with everybody. And
I was.
Congratulations.
Go ahead, you finish, and then I've got something to say.
Okay, well, I just want to say congratulations, Godless Granny, both on passing the 1K, being monetized now, and for the future.
And thank you so much for coming, GE.
Be awesome.
Especially when we started getting into some of the history, it was really great having your expertise here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's always great to be in a chat with John.
Yes.
Honestly.
I never have before, so I feel especially honored and brought the knowledge, man. Yeah, I'm a fan.
John's always fun.
I'm more of a fan of your wife, but I'm trying really hard not to fangirl right now, so I'm just gonna back it off.
No, Casey is the better half. Like,
Casey is amazing.
agree.
Casey is awesome to talk to, and she should
yes, I
do
will.
more.
Casey is definitely the better half.
And that jerk this one
Anyway.
time who said the giggling in the background of your streams is annoying, forget that guy. All right, we love it. We love it.
Yeah.
Real fan.
We love
love
Casey.
when she busts out
Oh
laughing.
my gosh, it kills me every time.
so
I
good.
love it. Yeah.
And the banter,
Yeah.
like the Daily Bible podcast, I'm behind on it, but
Oh yeah.
I used to watch that every single week. I even made a meme with the because of something he had said in one of the episodes with hashtag blood dick oath when you guys were talking about the
About
circumcision.
magic, where she
I made a meme and
Yeah. Oh.
I sent it to John. Like this was back in like 2015, 2016. So
Yeah.
it's been a while.
so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Or maybe it was like 2017 or 2018. I don't know. It was a couple years ago at least.
It was probably 2017 or 2018.
Time
because
has no meaning now.
I think that we didn't start the Daily Bible podcast until 2017. I think
Okay, so then it was then.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I gotta go. But it was great seeing everybody, and I hope y'all have an awesome night. Don't forget to stand up, use your voice, and all that kind of good shit. And I'll see y'all later.
Be safe and be
Have
well.
Have a good night, G.
Be safe.
Bye. Thanks for
Bye.
coming.
Bye.
I mean, I fanboy every time I'm around GE. So I mean,
I'm blushing a little bit. I'm trying not to.
The first time I ever appeared on YouTube, actually, aside from like stupid little things I did myself, like I made a YouTube video showing how to make strawberry daifuku, which is basically like mochi and strawberry and sweet red bean paste. It's a Japanese treat. But I did that as kind of a step-by-step to show a friend how to do it. But aside from that, the first time I was ever on a YouTube channel was on with John, and it was during one of his patron hangouts, and we got to talking about anti-vaxxers, and I have a lot to say about that. So that is one movie that's near and dear
I
to my
bet you
heart.
do, mother of a small child. Yes, I bet you do.
I'll tell
So
you.
are we all going to talk about our first experiences with our heroes and how we fangirled, are we?
I don't
Because-
know.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, just really quickly, jumping off of what Kitty said was
Kitty.
is that. Did I say Kitty?
Yeah,
I
you
thought I
did.
Yeah, you said Kitty.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you did.
Yay. Anyway, my first video, which is very sad and weepy because it was about grief, aired aired 1 year ago this week.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Congrats
before
on your 1 year
Everyone go
anniversary.
sub to Julie.
please
yeah,
do.
And before you go, Jen, on your hero, like when it comes to GE, and I kind of got to tell this to GE when he came on my channel and I met him the first time. When I first started watching Atheist on YouTube, I watched TJ Kirk and the Cult of Dusty, and they both kind of went anti-SJW at the same time. Now, Cult of Dusty has came back since, and he's uber leftist now, but GE provided that lefty atheist content I needed at that time and that moment to keep me sane, because I was going to give up on atheism. I mean, I would probably be back into my Native American spirituality if I didn't have that good lefty atheist, and GE provided that for a good 4 or 5 months before I started to find some other people. So like, GE is to me, I fanboy every time. I did it with Arn Ra and I did it with GE. Those are the two that I really like. Just, oh my God, I fanboy when I get around them,
School did not teach me evolution in Kentucky and Tennessee. Shocking, I know. Arn Ra taught me the theory of evolution by natural selection.
Yeah.
Thank you, Arn.
Wow.
When I
Arn's
was
great.
40.
I got to meet
Someone
him.
had to do a junk shop, by the way. Somebody had to post some links. Unfortunately, it's only Julie's and mine and Granny's that I've got in my list. I don't have Knox. So
I'll get
kitties.
the rest into the description. That when you posted that first one, it made me think, oh gosh, did I forget to put the links in the description?
Yeah,
And
you
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm a totally late addition because usually I work Tuesday nights and I can't come on
Right.
Granny streams.
Yeah, I usually only add them when I'm.
the ladies.
I add people to my list when I'm in the chat usually.
That's right.
Not when I'm in shows. It's easy to grab them out when I'm in shows, but I haven't been in the chat. Then John's out before, so I don't have John's. and I don't have yours not because I need every time I've usually been on the streams with you and not just in the chat because I haven't had much time to hop in the chats of other streams at the moment. So my list has sort of stopped growing. But funny you should mention Aaron Ra because my first live stream was on Non-Sequitur Show just before the shit all hit the fan with Non-Sec. And that was with Shannon Q and Aaron Ra.
Oh, nice.
And I was my first stream, and I was nervous as hell because two people I greatly admired were hosting the show. So, yeah, that was...
I would have been totally intimidated if Aaron Ra was the host of the show. My first non sequitur was 2 days before they exploded. And it was actually GE's wife, Caitlin, and Kyle Curtis. KC like intimidated the fuck out of me because I've been watching her for years. But like, if it had been Aaron Ra, I would have been a blubbering little like what. Well,
I will be honest. You guys know how normally I'm hard to shut up, and I mean we're all a bit like that here. So this stream's gone a bit like that. But I was shy. If you want to see what shy me looks like, if you can, I don't even know if any of the non sequitur stuff is still there. But if you can find that stream, I hardly talk at all. In fact, it was so bad that Shannon noticed that I was trying to say something, and she had to shut everyone else up so I could talk.
Shannon is great at that.
Shannon is awesome, and I love it. She's one of my favorite people.
First time I ever met Shannon.
I'm going to be honest.
Oh
next to Granny.
I mean, I love these people like John and Shannon and the other big names that are out there, and they're fun to have streams with and stuff like that. But the people like us, like you, Julie, myself, Kelly, Knock, I mean, I know that Kelly and Knock are bigger than I am on the YouTube space, but we all came from around in the last. We are all like we've all grown in the last 12 months, and I'd much rather hop in streams with you guys because we are of the same ilk, the same thought, and the same thing, and we see each other as peers. And there's none of this. I was going to say idol worshipping, but it's not really like that. But it is sometimes it does feel like that we're a bit separate from what they are.
Yeah,
and
I mean, one of my biggest fears is being interviewed by like this would ever happen, right? This is never going to happen. But so one of my biggest, one of my biggest dreams / fears is being interviewed by either No Illusions or Seth Andrews. I will sound like an incomprehensible idiot. Like either way, because I just they were the people that like when I first realized this is it. We've got this one life. This is it. I'm 40 years old. What am I doing with it? And I started seeking out all the atheist content I could, and I found Seth Andrews, Thinking Atheist, and I found the Scathing Atheist, and I've listened to all of their stuff since, and they really got me through the existential crisis part of giving up all of that, and
To be fair, though, we would probably handle it better now than what we would have if it had been 12 months ago.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, for an example, I mean, when I don't know if Mero's still in the chat or not. When Mero and I interviewed Dr. Karl Kruseniewski, now he is a hero of mine in the science community in Australia. He is our Bill Nye, and we interviewed him, and it was absolutely amazing. And there was definitely fangirling. So if you'd seen Mero and I before that started, because we were in chats with him for about 15-20 minutes before it went live, and we were just talking about what we were going to be talking about. And even during the stream, you can notice where he asked me a question and I blanked. I had no idea what my answer was, and yet it was in my field, so I should have known. But even so, we did, and we handled. I think we handled that interview really well. I mean, it helps that we had somebody who's used to being on radio and knows how to deal with audiences and keep a show flowing. So he helped us with keeping the show flowing. But we were able to do that and interview somebody like that, and I couldn't have done that 12 months previously. I would have been a blubbering mess. But it's to the point now where Mara and I aren't afraid to go and ask people. I am quite happy to tweet out to somebody like Neil deGrasse Tyson in the vein of hope that maybe he will answer us and he will let us have an interview, because that would be awesome. And I don't think I'd have a problem actually interviewing him, because it'd be awesome to do, but he's still just a person. These people tend to be like that. They're not aloof. And the people within our community, like John and Shannon and Vice Rhino and Pelagia and that, they're not aloof either. They're just incredibly busy. You know, if you're a young creator and you go, listen to me, watch me, please do something with me. There are a shit ton of us in the community. Don't think for a minute that they've all got enough time to concentrate on somebody who's got a little tiny following.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Shannon Q is she works a full-time job. She's a full-time mom, and she does YouTube on the side in her spare time, and she's on all the time. And on top of that, she's in like 2 sports things, and her son is in a sports thing that she's involved in. I mean, it's just, sometimes
she's a superhero. She's a superwoman.
She is, because sometimes I look at her and I'm like, I'm exhausted just watching your life. Like, just knowing what little I know about it, I'm exhausted. And
she'll pop into Discords from time to time for conversations. So
and just hang out.
And she'll talk to you on Twitter. You know, in her thread, and she'll have the conversation, and you know, it's all good. She is so down to earth. So easy to deal with. And John and Casey are the same.
Exactly.
They of the bigger YouTubers, they are 2 of my favorites because they are so down to earth. I'm not saying the others aren't, but you don't get the same conversation with them usually in the Twitter environment. I mean, you might do, but you don't usually. But my point was, if you're a new YouTuber, if you're somebody who wants to start out, if you're somebody who wants to get going, don't necessarily look to the big people. Look to the people who are in between, and we're all open, and we all came from where you were, and we're all prepared to do stuff with you. Send us a tweet, and don't be afraid if we forget, if we mess it up, if we're not ready for it. We do it to each other all the time.
Up on time.
I try to go on the smaller channels as much as I can, just to help them out as much as I can. But to your point, like, the thing that I've learned is, like, they are human beings. When I was in the room with Aaron Ra the other night for the first time, I was so intimidated. And then like 10 minutes into it, it's like, no, this dude he's like a dude, you know, he's just a dude. And it was really cool. But
he's really funny.
So easy to talk to. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah. And with Shannon Q, you know, like she came into my room unbidden the first time I met her to critique my Matt Powell debate performance, and it was one of the best streams that I've ever had, and by the end of it, we were a strong little fellowship of people that had just met for the very first time, and it was Shannon freaking Q, right? Like, you know, so I mean, these are human beings, but if you're a smaller YouTuber, put in your time and do your work, reach out to people like us, because you know we're closer to that, and they are really, really busy, and trust me, if they can make time for you, they will. Like, Aaron Ra loves going on the small channels. He loves it.
He does. So will Shannon. I mean, Shannon will do that too if she has time. She will appear. She'll do, especially if it's a pre-recorded show, more so than a live stream, because then you can fit it around her. But even on the live stream, if you organize it far enough in advance, Shannon will often become part of stuff like that. She is awesome.
Can I jump in real quick before I disappear again? Because Knock was talking about with Aaron Ra the other night, and that was the first time I ever was in a stream with him too, and I was kind of like fanboying. And I had to leave after like 10, 15 minutes, and I said, hey, before I leave, I just want to say how awesome it was to be in a stream with Aaron Ra. Like, I love your shit, man. And then I said, you know, I've always wanted to ask you something, and like, you know, I'm a guy and everything, but you know, I'm a pretty big guy and I got a nice set. Would you autograph my tits?
Hey, you know what? I'd be willing to put money that mine are nicer than yours, John. Just saying.
There's no doubt they are, Kitty.
I'm gonna bet on Kitty. That was such a funny moment.
Oh, we lost John. No.
That was amazing.
Your Kitty scared him off.
It was like
Kitty's titties scared John off.
Like, I've got super tits. Like, they're on the same level as freaking Shannon Q. Like, my boobs and Shannon, they're just Forces
Look,
of nature.
I wasn't gonna say anything, Kitty, because I'm a lady or what the fuck ever. But they have been distracting me all night in a very good way. Thank you for that. Thank you, doll. I'm sorry,
You're
and I'm sorry, Granny. That was a bit crass. I apologize.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay.
I'm just
No
sending a
crass,
message here.
Julie. It's awesome. I love the way you flirt in streams with everyone. Julie, I think it's fucking awesome.
It's taking a page out of my book.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to do it too. So, yeah, it's like, I think flirting makes a stream. And, I mean, we're all in different states or even different countries. Like,
yeah,
I am to you guys.
Yeah, as long as everybody knows that I'm not serious, I thank you for letting me flirt with you. And as long as nobody feels uncomfortable, I don't want that.
I love playful banter. Like, Julie, you're adorable. You can flirt with me anytime.
Thank you.
Just saying.
Hello, Clockwork.
Hey, Clockwork Rex.
Hi, Clockwork.
Hey, Rex.
Jen's Flinderfer.
Hey, well, hello there.
He's got like a Southern radio host voice. It's
oh my gosh,
quite nice.
Yeah, can you talk more? That was amazing.
Someone's got something playing in the
How
background.
you doing?
Okay, you could have had a better line, but yeah, your voice is quite nice.
Oh, is it me? Is it me? My bad.
Yes.
Yeah, you're echoing.
You sound a lot like Bear,
thank you
too.
very much. Thank you very much.
He's got that
No, I
very
don't do
like
Elvis
deep,
impression.
rich voice.
Please don't. I live in Memphis. I get way too much of that as it is. No offense to Mr. Elvis Aaron Presley. It's just, good Lord. It's so much. Death Week is a big thing here.
I love
Really?
It is. I once served coffee to an entire, this is hilarious, 4 Asian Elvi in full regalia. I'm assuming Elvi is the plural of Elvis. Or Elvises, if you were.
Elvi.
In full regalia during Death Week. Came through my Starbucks drive-through when I was like, I'm teaching classes because I've got a master's degree, but I'm not. I need health insurance. So I'm also working at Starbucks, and I'm giving them espresso so they can go out and do their fun Death Week stuff. And they were from Tokyo. I also actually got to speak French with a young man who was there with 2 ladies from China. And so I got to say my Elvis, thank you, Ox. And yeah, they were there, and I needed to show him where the bathroom was in the store, and so I was like, yeah, je parle français en and I kind of faked my way through it. I didn't really, but he was thrilled. It was just like, I mean, he spoke perfect English, but he was thrilled that like
the Elvis eye.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of jealous. I can barely speak English.
It's the one. English is the one thing I'm good at. So I can't math. I don't math. I have no.
Yeah,
my spatial skills suck, and I'm looking for a job. I shouldn't be saying any of this online. Actually, I'm amazing, and you should hire me right now.
Yeah, Julie's amazing. We all give her personal references.
Yes,
Thank
absolutely.
you. Thank you. If you're on LinkedIn, that would be great.
When you said Elvis, that triggered me because Smokey Saint, he doesn't say hypotheses.
Oh.
He says hypothesis.
Oh, Smokey Saint.
Okay, that's kind of adorable.
If you ever need help with math, Julie, just ask.
It's not because Smokey Saint said it. I'm going to calm down.
If you ever need help with maths, Julie, just ask because that's my thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're brilliant and beautiful and maths are your thing.
Oh, thank you.
Julie, have you ever been to like Pigeon Forge, Valley Forge area? Have you been to the Comedy Barn down there?
No, not to the Comedy Barn, but I have been to.
I went when I was a kid. We took a trip down there. Like we used to go to either the Carolinas or Tennessee, go up in the mountains and stuff. So like Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Valley Forge, that whole area. I love to visit there. It's so pretty. Like horseback riding and panning, like rock panning and all the touristy things you do.
Oh yeah. It's absolutely beautiful. And then you can go visit the Civil War stuff and feel sad. And then but it's important. I mean, you got to know your history.
I used to call the Carolina Mountains God's country. Now I just call it plate tectonics country. But it's about the same thing,
Well, that's the thing is like, isn't this enough? I mean, I kind of love the notion that it's all accidental. And I never, like, after I stopped, being religious and realized I didn't believe in any of that or a higher power or anything, I got to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing that I was even born, because I started thinking about all the history and all of the bits and pieces and the ancestors that came from all these different places. And, I've got, like, my mom's half Scottish because her people were followed Bonnie Prince Charlie in 1745 and got kicked out of Great Britain or got kicked out of Scotland, but by Great Britain. And then, and then her German half, they came over here in the 1890s. And then, like, I've got an Irish ancestor who managed to survive the the British
potato famine.
Yeah. And came here. And then I've got on my dad's side, I'm a direct descendant of an illegal immigrant from Canada and his third wife, who was Mohawk. And so for a long time, we thought we were part Mohawk. And then my sister took a DNA test, and it turns out that she was the stepmom to his 7 kids. But he also lied on a census and said he was born in the United States, but he was from Paris originally. Like Paris, France, not Paris, Tennessee, like Paris, France. So it's just all of this stuff. And like, if the Civil War hadn't maintained the Union, my parents would never have met, because my mom was born on one side and my dad was born on the other. And then they met because my dad was in the Army during Korea, and he got leave for one weekend in Louisville, Kentucky, and just went to a USO because he didn't know anybody, spilled his drink on the floor, and caught my mom as he was coming back with a mop to clean it up, and she slipped on it. That's how my parents met. It's like all of this stuff, and it's just all accidental and amazing, and I get to be... Sorry, I kind of went on a rant.
No, it's honestly like, I like that thought experiment, that you'll be asked sometimes, where it's, if you could go back and change something. Like, I've been through a lot in my life, like a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And no matter how much, like, of the trauma I went through, I wouldn't change any of it, because if I did, I wouldn't have my son. I might have a child, but I wouldn't have him. And I can't imagine a timeline that doesn't have him in it. So it's like, I survived all of that. And it made me the person I am, like, for good or bad.
You're absolutely right. My first
I wouldn't
marriage
have my son. And so I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah. My first marriage was horrible. And it was 10 years of my life, and then another year getting divorced and all of that. But I wouldn't have the amazing, marvelously kind and wonderful spouse that I have now, and I wouldn't give that up for anything.
I often say my first marriage was spectacular because it never happened. So.
Nice.
Raise your hand if you got married and then divorced and it wasn't pleasant.
It was very unpleasant. It was the worst, I gotta say. And
I've been an adulterer since I was 16, but I've never been married. So
yeah, well, biblically,
thank you, B, for being our shield.
No wife, no
master.
kids, no worries.
Well, we have been going for an hour and almost 25 minutes now. So if we all take a little bit of time to shill for ourselves and then say goodbye, we'll have been going for our 90 minutes, and I think some people need a rest. So let's go ahead and go around.
I can keep going.
Yeah, I know you
but
can.
That's okay.
It's morning for you. It's evening for us, and for some of us,
I know.
late. Yeah.
YouTube is my crack cocaine. I can do it 24/7. So
this is my
shit.
Yeah, this is my excuse to not be packing right now. Frankly, I'm sad it's ending. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
We could always have an after show, Julie.
That's right.
No worries. It's all good.
We could have an after show on your channel.
That sounds like a great idea.
If y'all want to come over, we can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. I mean,
all right.
It's avoiding doing tax.
No, thank you.
I'm there. I got here late.
I'm just smoking weed, so I will come. I will come and I will talk.
Cool. All right.
Okay. So, Julie, other than a stream on your channel
can
in about 5 minutes,
Julie and Kitty said?
For an after party, what do you have going on?
Nothing other than this coming Tuesday, I'm gonna have my friend Kim come back and we're gonna talk about the very depressing hearings for the new SCOTUS. Oh gosh, darn it! I can't even. I'm sorry. It's so depressing. I don't want to think about it. I can. Barrett Brown.
Yeah.
Her name. Yeah.
Just call her
Honey
Handmaid.
Bear.
Handmaid's
Yeah,
Tale.
Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid Tale lady. Yeah, we're gonna talk about her.
The entrance to Gilead. How
Yes.
we become Gilead.
Thank you. And see, all of you know, but a lot of people are not hearing the fact that she's not regular Catholic. She's beyond Rome Catholic. So we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
And I mean, Nazi Pope was not okay with her. So with her group. So we're gonna talk about that next Tuesday at 2 Central Time. Granny, that's your time. Everybody else, I'm sorry, figure it out. It's like it's 3
For Eastern, it's 3.
Eastern. Yeah. Beyond that,
So 3 a.m. for me.
Yeah. But we're also going to be moving. So that's the only thing I'm committing to next week. And thank you all so much. And I'm sorry, Granny, that I talked all over your celebration stream.
No problem.
Okay.
Jen.
Not as much as me, though.
Jen, what do you have going on?
I'm hoping to do a stream probably Thursday night my time, so Friday morning. Although I may do it Friday morning my time, so it's Thursday night your time. Just so I can have some people in who wouldn't normally be in. I'm hoping to do another one of those word streams that we did.
Okay.
Because that was good fun, and I'm love to do it at a time frame when I can have Julie on, because I'm sure she would really enjoy doing that.
Oh, yes, I would.
Odd words in the English language.
Okay.
So yeah,
good.
I think that would so much be your thing, Julie. So I'm aiming to do that. And aside from that, once I get rid of most of this cold, I'll be recording another naked sex talk video. People can wait to find out what the topic is, but that should be a lot of fun. I'm also hoping to be able to organize a couple of people to do some pre-recorded naked sex talk videos where I'm not the only person who's naked in them.
Vice Rhino is
That'd be a
here.
lot of fun. Hi, Vice Rhino.
Hi, Vice Rhino.
How you, hun?
I say that like I know you. I don't know
Vice
you.
Rhino, one of the first atheist YouTubers I started watching. It was Godless Engineer, Godless Cranium, Vice Rhino, Professor Stick, Telltale, GM
Professor Stick's
Skeptic.
awesome.
Well,
I had a nice sampling.
Vice Rhino had one of the best takedowns of Matt Powell's movie that I was in of anybody that I saw. So, like, kudos, Vice Rhino. Kudos.
Yeah.
So stay for the after show, Vice Rhino, over on Julie's channel, and you can hop in.
Excellent. But I just heard naked sex talk video. We may or may not be doing that tonight. Vice Rhino, come over and
but if you want to see some of those, go over to my channel.
Yeah, Jen's got them all.
Yeah, Jen's got some.
I am intrigued by this naked sex talk.
You knew about them before. Come watch them. My first one was on female masturbation.
It makes me in a good way.
I'm naked right now, so
it is my most watched video. 14K views now.
The one I did about masturbation was my most watched video, and I was I mean, okay, sorry. Everyone else continue. I'm going to mute myself now.
If I did a video on masturbation, they'd make me delete my channel.
Oh God.
Have you actually seen my video of masturbation? I am so amazed it's still up.
No, I am too.
Because that's how the video starts, with a demonstration.
Vice Rhino, being naked. Why do you think I use an avatar?
Clockwork.
I have no shame.
Clockwork, what do you have coming up? Are you there?
Oh, I've
He's looking at
not
my
done
video.
anything since they quit the Google Hangouts thing. I have like 20 subs on my channel, and I don't really give a shit. But I wanted to circle back to what Julia and Kitty and y'all were talking about, things that happened in our past. If you take out one thread of the tapestry of our life, it all unravels. And we aren't who we are now. Because I've had fucked up shit happen to me too in the past. believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
Goddamn,
my
I
two
love his
cents.
voice.
Y'all go ahead.
Okay.
I love your fucking voice.
Yeah,
Rage,
that's some,
Rage.
that's some
Well, let
hot
me say
Southern
this. Let me
voice
say
right
this,
there.
Rage. When you did your takedown video of Jill, like I think it was last week, and you said, "Well, Clockwork come in there and laid down the law and just told Jill to shut the fuck up," I was like, "Hell yeah," because that's what I did. That was my whole purpose of coming in that stream, was just to tell Jill to shut the fuck up.
And you did it well, my man.
Well,
Junk
thank you
shop.
very much.
I mean,
Thank you very
Naka,
much.
what do you? Yeah, thanks for coming, Naka. What do you have coming up?
Oh, well, today you can catch it on the rewind if you haven't, or on the replay if you haven't watched it. I watched somebody channel the Archangel Metatron and the Archangel Michael. I shit you not. The next two night or tomorrow night, I'm going to have an open room, variety of topics. Otangelo might show up to try to stump us on science. We'll see. And then Thursday night, it looks like I'm going to be talking with CJ Cox about what a non sequitur is. That should be interesting.
Cool.
Okay, that does sound interesting. Kitty.
Well, since John's not here to show for himself and I don't have content right now, I will show for him. He was one of Granny's first like big supporters, and he helped her out to get her here. And the more she climbs, the happier John will be, because he loves seeing YouTubers, just seeing people, atheists, what have you, actually using their voice to effectuate real change in the world, speaking up and talking about things that matter to them. And I know he's super proud of Granny. I'm super proud of Granny. And if you haven't subscribed to him, please do. All the lovely people on the panel could also use your subscription if you haven't already. And aside from that, I do plan on eventually starting content, but right now I've just been so busy with sewing masks that my spare time I spend unwinding with video games and spending time with my son. Like, for the most part, like, I'm booked. But
when you start, Kitty, we're all there for you, and we're all going to help.
I'm actually going to tap all of you and be how do I do this?
Oh yeah,
I'm so lost.
and Kitty, when you by the way, I want DM. Are you on Twitter? Great.
Kitty the Atheist on Twitter.
Fantastic. DM me. It's I think it's just J LaVoice.
Okay, I think I follow you.
Yeah, I think we follow each other. Anyway, DM me because I want to buy some of your masks, and also you're amazing, and thank you for
sell
making
them. Like, I don't sell them. Like, I donate the materials to make all the masks that I do, and it's just shipping that
I will absolutely pay the shipping.
You and your partner, like, it'd be like 2 masks per person, so it will be $8 flat rate for all of them total. Like, it's just if it's going to be more than that, like if you've got like kids or siblings, like, or anything like that, then, as long as I can fit them in a flat rate envelope, then it's $8. If I need to go to a box, then it's more. But, the shipping is just flat rate. I know going to the UK or to Australia, it's between $25 and $30 to ship. But I might be sending some more over, because I mailed some over to Marrow, and I'll see if I can't, get with her and see if I can't, like, if there's people over there that need masks, like, and do just one big shipment over there, and then just
and we can send them out to each other.
Yeah, because domestic is much cheaper. When I mailed to the UK, I did that. I basically obviously with permission, of the people, and it was just to save on shipping. So 3 orders went to 3 different people, but they only paid, a couple of bucks to ship it domestically. So Mara was asking for more masks. So when I get caught up on all the orders I have now, and I get with her, then I'll get with you, Jen, and her, and we'll try to coordinate something.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
I think you are an awesome person, and I want to thank you for the work that you're doing. I mean, it's just to do that just for nothing, and because you care. I think is what we need more of in this world. So I just want to say thank you, Kitty.
Here's to Kitty saving lives.
Here's the thing. I started doing it because people near me are high risk. Like when I got swine flu, I spent a week in the hospital with asthma-related complications. Now, since I quit smoking, I was still the smoker then. Since I quit smoking, I haven't really had asthma-related issues, but since COVID does go after the lungs, I don't know. My son, whenever he gets sick, it settles in his chest and he gets that bad croupy cough and needs a nebulizer. He's also on the autism spectrum and won't take medication. So they would have to keep him in the hospital and sedated if he needed any type of intervention. And my dad's got COPD. So when it comes down to it, and my niece is very bad asthma. So I've got lots of people close to me that, I was worried about. And then I said, well, I can help other people. And then the sewing machine that I had was very old and it was a hand-me-down and it just started to die. Like it couldn't handle going through the layers on the mask. So I spoke to a few people, including Navardia and Casey, and I was like, I kind of want to get a new sewing machine. I was thinking about doing a GoFundMe for it, but I'm not sure. And they're like, look, you know what? If these people over here can raise a bunch of money for something that is kind of pointless, your $300 for a new sewing machine is nothing. Well, I did it, and it surpassed the goal. In 24 hours, I got the new machine, and that's what I've been using. I did 70 masks on my old machine, and the other 230 plus are on the new machine. So it's also, I kind of feel like I have to keep giving back because, people were so good to me and helped me, be able to help others and the people close to me. Like even now I make more simple, like accordion style masks that are just 2 layers of fabric sewn together with a nose wire. And I have a little bin where my sister works because she works at a vape shop. And people will sometimes come in without a mask and they see free masks. They'll take one and they'll put it on because like there's that social pressure of, it's right there, it's free. And then people want to use something that's free. And so some are going to say, fuck it, I'm not going to wear a mask at all. But there's some that might be on that line and it might convince them to do it. And so I've been keeping that box stacked with, I call them disposable. They're not disposable. They're still reusable and washable. It's just they're not as sturdy as one of these, which is the ones that I've mostly been sending out to people because it's got a pocket so that you can put filter material in there, and it's got the elastic, so it basically goes on like this. So it's got the nose wire and it goes the back of the head and the back of the neck, so it's not tugging on your ears. And you can get a better fit to your face as well. Although I think John has tie ones because you couldn't get elastic. When I first did it at the beginning, there was no elastic anywhere, and I was using pipe cleaners for nose wires. Now I've actually got nice nose wires and I've got elastic because those things are in stock now. So what I'm making now is even better than when I was making at the beginning. And I was planning on sending some more to John anyway, as a thank you because, they help promote the fundraiser. They're part of the reason why it exceeded its goal in 24 hours. And I owe them majorly. And they're just, God, they're such lovely people. They do so much for people in the community and around the world, and I cannot sing John and Casey's praises enough.
All around good human beings. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to start rambling, Granny.
It's okay. It's not a big deal.
It's a worthy cause.
I do want to acknowledge Yuhan's super chat. I think this is like the 4th or 5th super chat that I've gotten from Yuhan tonight. And I want to acknowledge Junk Shop's super chat. And he says that I'm having a 5K celebration on Thursday.
I'm just saying you can't hit 3K before I do. I'm at like 2.8. If you hit 3K before I do, I'm gonna be pissed.
I don't think I will. I'm sure I won't. My subscribers just went through the roof because of that collab I did with Vice Trino.
It's well deserved, Granny. You do really good work.
Thank you. But since that video has come out, I thought Junk Shop was going to be the last. Oh, good, Shannon Q is here. Hello, Shannon. Thanks for coming.
Hey, Shannon.
Hey, Shannon, you don't know me, but I love you.
Come to the after party, Shannon.
Attracting the legends, Granny, already.
Yes, please.
Well, Shannon Q is another person that really helped to make my channel, because when I first launched, Shannon and Vice Rhino and Paula Gia all all promoted me and put me on the map from the very beginning. Yuhan is determined to be last, so I guess I'm going to have to wrap this up so Yuhan doesn't have to keep sending me more and more super chats just so he
we
can
could
be
just
last.
keep going, and then you'll make lots of money.
No, Johan is amazing. Like, he actually has reached out to me in the past, like when GE hits certain milestones, like his 100,000, he actually reaches out to people that are friends with John or other creators, and he made like the congratulations video, and like he does a lot of work behind the scenes, helping John and helping other people. And like, if I ever have any questions, I know I can go to him and ask. He's really good with the techie YouTube-y stuff. So
Good to know.
he's definitely good people.
Okay, very good. Okay, so what I have coming up, I was supposed to be doing a video on climate change this week, but some things had to get pushed back. So instead, I don't know how long this is going to take me, because it's kind of hard to stomach. Although it's not anywhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be, and that is I'm reviewing a full-length movie that Steve Anderson put together. And
God.
Junk Shop.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised.
God.
I thought you knew this, Julie, because Junk Shop is
I did not. No.
Yeah, Junk Shop is
someone did
making
not
a small clip for me for that.
Welcome to the club, Granny. You're now in the club. You're in the
Yes,
club
you
now.
are. Speaking of Junk Shop, hey, honey, I'm sending you a link. I need you to post in the chat, if that's cool. Okay, sorry, Granny. Please continue. Apologize.
Okay. Yeah, so the movie actually turned out to be not as bad as I was expecting, although it's extremely boring. I can't imagine making a full-length movie with the stuff that they put in this movie. It is extremely boring. So I'm actually only going to respond to maybe 15 minutes of the movie, because the vast majority of it is just watching them drive in a car while there's music playing. Yeah, it's a travel video, which they're calling a full-length movie. So anyway, I've got that review coming up, and then
it's a buddy road trip, is it?
Yeah, it's a road trip, but it's in Palestine. They got their churches to give them the money to do a trip to Palestine so that they could do this, review of biblical sites. But they show more of them traveling from site to site than they do of the sites themselves.
The actual site. So yeah. They're ignoring the archaeology and the actual interesting part and just driving along talking about Jesus.
Well, actually, a lot of the time they're not even talking. It's just music and them driving. Like I said,
that's even more boring.
Yes, it's the most boring thing I've ever seen.
How could you sit there editing going? How could you sit there editing that going, this is a good film?
I'm going to start recording my trips to work every day. I mean, I guess it works,
Right?
Oh, fuck's sake.
Can I make money doing that? I'll do it. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm thinking a dash cam might be a good idea now, and I'll be one of those dangerous people who makes videos whilst driving, because I don't even have to say anything. It'll just be interesting. Anyway, people would love that, because I spend half my time swearing at the other traffic. So
and you don't even have to be a crazy American preacher to make one of those videos.
No, you don't. Or a flat earther.
Well, you're taking the smart route. So you're easing your way into the insanity. Don't go too deep with Steven Anderson. You don't want to go too deep.
Be careful.
Yeah,
I think Shannon Q's complaining at you, Granny, because you haven't given her a wrench.
Yeah, I just gave her one.
There you go.
Okay, she's got one now. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So that movie review is coming up, and as soon as Mama Atheist is ready to do climate change with me, I'm going to be doing climate change with Mama Atheist.
Oh, hell yeah.
I will have a stream sometime next week. I haven't decided what to do. I do have one thing in mind to do at some point, but it may not be all that popular. So I'm kind of deciding maybe I'll do that at a different time. And that is, some of you have seen Joshua from Vietnam on with me. And he said he would really like to talk about his faith, which he's got a really slippery faith. It's kind of weird. So I'm thinking.
There's also a debate coming up, Granny.
Yes, and yes. I'm not sure when that is yet, though.
It's supposed to be next week, but to be perfectly honest, I don't feel up to it at the moment, which is the main reason I didn't respond to you the other day. So.
Okay. Yeah, there's someone that's organizing a debate between me, and I had no idea who the opponent was, but I just found out yesterday, or was it today, that it's supposed to be Smokey Saint.
Yeah, I'm not keen on that.
No, you don't want to do that.
But it's on.
Yeah, I agree. Smokey's probably the worst person to have this debate about because Smokey's an ass.
Smokey pushes
I don't
my
know who
button.
that is,
So what platform will it be on?
Conspiracy Cats.
But the problem is what the debate is on is the problem because Smokey will be a complete arsehole.
Yeah.
If the other person who wants to do this debate would be fine, but Smokey's the dick. And the debate's meant to be about trans women in sport.
I once told him I disagree.
So I don't think we can do that with Smokey.
And
Yeah,
he said I was playing the victim card.
I will give Smokey, I didn't watch the whole debate, but his trans women in sport debate on Modern Day Debate, while his position detestable, it was like a good Smokey. But you don't get good Smokey too often, so you can't take that as any kind of anything.
He was also debating. he was also debating somebody who was debating it from entirely the wrong angle. So Smokey had an easier job of it. If he debates Granny and I actually know the subject incredibly well, and obviously,
tear into his ass. Fuck Smokey Saint. So.
I would, but I mean, it'll turn the whole thing into a shit show, and I categorically, given the history of this debate and everything else, I mean, I actually convinced Conspiracy Cats not to do this debate earlier on because of the shit show it can become, and you don't know what the people are going to be like debating it. So I'm almost being a hypocrite, kind of saying I will do the debate now. So I'm of the opinion that if the people in it aren't going to be honest and respectful in their debating, I don't think the debate's worth having because you're not having a debate. Then you just wanting to shit on people. And I think Smokey's the kind of person who will do that. He will just shit on people.
And if you're going to really go at Smokey on that issue, like his interlocutor in the MDD debate really didn't, it's going to be a totally different exchange. And Smokey will get insulting. That's his.
Yeah, and there's no point in that. There's absolutely zero point in that. This choice of a person to be on the other side of the debate, I would rather, if they were going to have somebody debate it, get someone. Now I can't remember his name, and I should know his name because I follow him on Twitter. What's his name from the UK? Who does a lot of things about, and his only care about the subject of trans women in sport is for sport itself.
Rationality Rules.
No, not Rationality Rules. No. What is his name?
Plum.
Plum. Yeah, Noel Plum.
Yeah, Noel Plum.
I would rather have the debate with Noel because Noel would at least be respectful.
I would agree, and he would be an honest interlocutor in that.
And
debate.
he would be an honest interlocutor, and he's actually read the material. He actually understands it, and you can actually have a proper debate with him. So I would rather have somebody like Noel if they were going to have somebody debate it. And Noel's only going to debate on that issue. He's not going to go off into other bullshit because he doesn't care about the other bullshit.
Yep, and he's not going to.
Whereas Smokey will. Smokey's going to get personal, and he's going to pull it into other areas, especially if he feels he's losing.
I agree.
And I don't think we could have that debate. That's how I personally feel about it, Grant. I don't think we could have the debate if Smokey's in it.
Yeah, I'll talk to, I can't remember the name of the guy that's organizing and see what he thinks. The other possibility would be having it just me against Smokey because I don't think he would be as insulting to me as he would be to you.
Well, that's a possibility, but I think honestly, I'll help you with all the information you need for this, and
Right.
I'll also get Lizzie Lang on side so that you actually get the correct documents to feed.
I wouldn't count on that. We're talking about a guy that doesn't know Jen Aldridge, called her a whore and a prostitute. I mean, you never know what you're going to get with Smokey's saying.
It's not just because I'm trans and intersex that he would attack me. He will attack anyone. Smokey is an asshole.
I have taken him down for the last month and a half. This guy is no serious interlocutor for anybody. You need to go into it. Like, if you go into it understanding Smokey, then you'll do good. But if you don't understand what you're getting into, you're gonna have a rough time.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a rough time anyway, because he'd be debating with people, even if it was just Granny and debating him. But if we end up doing the team debate and it's me and you with Smokey and I can't remember the other guy's name, he'll be debating with people who actually know the subject to a certain degree and are capable debaters. And he will just go to personal insults, because that's what happens with people like Smokey. If you can't win the debate because you're debating with people who are better at it than you, which is effectively what we'd be doing to him, he will resort to insults.
We've literally had to have the conversation with him, like explaining to him what ad homs are, what insults are, the difference between the two, and how he utilizes both. So,
Well, anyway, so that's what's coming up. Possible debate. At some point, a climate change video on Steve Anderson's terrible movie, and something on a stream next week, but I haven't decided exactly what. So a little bit up in the air for the next week or two. Well, thank you everyone for coming and joining me. Everyone go to Julie's channel for the after party. I won't be there though, because it's getting kind of late for me.
That's okay. We love you, Granny, and congratulations.
Congratulations, Granny.
Yeah,
Love you.
for you.
Thank you.
You are doing really good work, and I hope you just continue to do it forever. I really do.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the encouragement. I appreciate it so much. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.